Hey, koma and konnichiwa, plus yamaseo. Will here of the POLIT'AI CHI, the three standard greetings. China, Japan, Korea, reflecting my 30 plus years martial training. Alright, new thing I'm doing, a little quickie voiceover. So, this I spend a lot of time on stuff like this, not because it's trending, but because I think it's the newsworthy, not so much newsworthy, but it's very educational. And I think educational TV far and away outpaces entertainment for entertainment purposes. It's far more entertaining to be educated. And this man knows what he's talking about. And we're talking about the HBOs of the past, how what was old is new again in terms of this Netflix. I don't get it. I am not Walmart, Amazon, Facebook, or Netflix booster. Wouldn't own them, wouldn't recommend owning them. Do not let that triple figure fool you. It's going down. And he explains very succinctly why. All right, thanks for watching.
Let me talk about content a little. This was initially your bread and butter, content over the years. It's your life. Content is king.
Narrative form.
Content is king again. Or maybe it never stopped being king. You've got all these streaming companies planning to try to go head-to-head with Netflix.
Fool's errand.
Why?
Because Netflix, these things have happened. HBO, when it started, essentially was built on the back of movie companies' movies. And it paid really dearly for them until it got to be the only payer in town. In which case, at that moment, it then reversed its policies on movies and paying the most, and kind of dictated, because it had that kind of control, because it was the only player, big-time player, in prime subscription services. Netflix was another kind of accident, which is all of the incumbents, all the movie companies, television companies, all sold their product to Netflix, built Netflix, and now are at the mercy of Netflix.
Now they say
this is the way kind of these things work. So Netflix now has, it has such a huge advantage in terms of its 130 million subscribers. Its closest competitor has less than half. The idea that you can compete head-to-head with Netflix, I think, is a fool's game. Do I think that Walt Disney, in their policy of saying they're going to offer streaming services, and everybody and their mother is going to offer streaming services, and lots of people will subscribe to them, all of which is true, but will anybody ever be able to get up to the probable 200 to 300 million subscribers that Netflix is going to have, just as they're putting their little boots on to try and compete with them? I find that really unlikely and unproductive. Nevertheless, I think they'll build some good businesses. But Netflix competition, just to organize your life to compete with it, I don't think it's wise.
what's the downside risk
But
here?
organizing your life to even make use of
For
Netflix.
these companies,
It's a waste
you're
of time.
spending a lot of money on content.
You're subscribed to that, what are you going to do? You're going to spend the rest of your life binging on weekends after working a hard week.
Money
when
right
weekends should be
now
about getting out there.
will sustain them in terms of net profits today.
Not binging on Netflix.
Deficit spending. Netflix doesn't make any money, but it is pouring money in to get up from 130 to 250 million subscribers, in which case the game is basically already called, but it'll be truly called. Competitors are now pouring huge amounts of money. Hulu doesn't make money, is invested, loses $1 billion or whatever it loses a year, investing for the future. Now, if you've got all these people over deficiting to build a business for tomorrow, it's, there are only, let's call it, 4 chairs in the musical chair thing, and there are 10 people running around the circle. There's going to be a lot of destruction.
Was it a good move that Rupert sold when he did?
Well, my God, this is a much more complicated question. I would say that he did not need to sell. I disagree with the premise. I do not think consolidation and bigness is necessary to compete. I think you can reach your consumers today more than you ever could. Before, you had to go through other bigger players. Today, in the internet. That's the great leveling field of the internet, which is you press a button and you publish to the world. So I don't think he needed to do it for size, which was the stated reason that in order to play today you need to be of bigger size. I think that's not a valid reason.
Can you imagine if GE waited to sell NBC Universal to Comcast for today? Valuation would have been much different.
Well, GE is a whole other
Yes,
story.
it is.
When you see the rise of all of these other companies in this last period, and you see the year-by-year destruction of the greatest industrial company created, GE, it's quite an amazing, and you can parallel it.
Barry, it's great to have you on the show.
Nice to see you.
Thank you so much.